Hey everybody, this is HB. Welcome to a How the Sausage is Made session, or behind the scenes, where I delve into the thought process of this short, long-range pack. First things first, for those of you not familiar with the Betaflight OSD, here's a breakdown of what we're looking at. And yes, the GPS is redacted, there's a lot of cray-crays on the internet. So starting off on this flight, I realized I was in between two snow squalls, and it wasn't necessarily the best flight conditions. It was a little windy out. Wanted to test my return to home in the event that I lose signal, and I'm not trying to lose the drone. I'm hoping that my configuration will be strong enough to fight against the wind that is blowing. This right here is where I engage the return to home manually on the switch on the transmitter, and you can see it's making it, but it's rough. It's pretty windy out. For those of you wondering, what are you flying, dude? It's a 4-inch long-range Flywoo Explorer, powered by 3,000 milliamp hour lithium ion batteries. You know, your long range typical setup. Thing is because the wind is so strong out, a 4-inch it's kind of like flying a tiny whoop in a wind tunnel. And this is where the flight actually starts. I'm trying to head out about 2 to 3 kilometers. You can see in the distance there's a roof on a building right there above the tree lines. You see there's a blue building in the distance. I'm heading towards that. And I'm getting blown pretty hard right now. Let the jokes go ahead and commence. You can see I'm getting, for all intents and purposes, what you would call air turbulence. Right about now, I'm looking at my throttle. I'm feeling I'm past mid in the throttle, and that kind of gets me a little nervous because we are draining battery kind of quickly. So I'm going to turn around and come back and see if I fare better in another direction. You guys can see as we approach my launch spot, which is denoted by the flagpole. You can see it right there, the flag blowing. You can see that it's blowing, I would say, from left to right in my perspective where I'm standing right now. So I'm going to push it into the wind directly. I'm low so I can let off the throttle a little bit, but I pull up here to get above these power lines. And yes, I know I got like 20 feet above the power lines at this point, but I want to make sure I'm in the wind good. And you see I'm popping between high 50s and low 60s, which I'm taking into consideration. If I need to do a punch out or something like that, am I going to be able to? And operating at that high of a stick, I'm questioning whether or not I should be doing this flight right now. There's a football stadium at, I'm going to say, right around 1 o'clock that I wanted to go for, but I chickened out. Not trying to lose a drone, guys. At least not until someone goes ahead and sends me them for free. And at that point, they're disposable, and who cares? So you can see that we got a little bit of shaking going on because it is really kind of windy. And I'm actually getting blown sideways. So I'm going to take it down a little lower here to try to avoid this wind. And about now, screw it. Let's just go into the wind. I'm going to stay on the stick and just watch the speed take off here. This is one of my regular fly spots, and I like to shoot in between these trees here because when you go low, you can skim. There's power lines, and you can just follow the power lines straight across all the way basically to another bridge. While I'm facing this direction, I'm paying attention to the sky itself as well to see if I have more weather coming in. The wind is blowing to my back now, but the weather typically goes from left to right in this perspective. Speed peaked in the 90s. Now it's time to turn around and fly into this and watch it dip down slow. Throttle was up to almost 70. Checking my battery right now. 3.4 on the cell count. We have till 3.0 before we're in real trouble and the battery's dead. So I'm going to be able to make it back. I'm erring on the line of playing it safe. I'm very familiar with this area as this is one of my regular flying spots. And so I'm just landmarking as I go. And I know that I can follow these power lines down. And then I can just come right back to the hill. Also, if all else fails, I have my return to home arrow direction. So I know where I'm at. But I am paying attention to just at this point to see is there any weather coming in from behind me. I'd like to squeeze out as much of this pack as possible, but The other problem is it is really frigid out. I want to say that it was like 22 degrees Fahrenheit. It is absolutely the perfect temperature for a Yeti, but not for me. And I'm not talking about the cooler either. I'm talking about you Sam Squanchers out there. So I'm just going to go ahead and wrap out this flight with a little low cruise through the cemetery. And notice that we have the weather kind of starting to clear on the horizon line up there as well. So if it wasn't so cold and windy, I would fly a second pack or fly this pack out. But at this point, I kind of just want to get in from the cold and eat me some ramen or something. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Be sure to subscribe and stop back. 365 days of FPV, and we're on day, I guess this is 7? I feel like fucking Bruce Springsteen. Wings whipping down the boardwalk. HB, you standing out here like a dumbass. Hey, man, you know what time it is? It's time to go. Thanks for watching.